I'm curious if maybe you have any advice for people who are in a similar boat where you were before you started, who are like, oh my gosh, I know I want to change a career, but I still don't know what direction to choose. I'm lacking that vision. What would you tell them?
I would tell them to hire you. I would say start working with her today. I think that there's just inherently as humans, we want to get better. And there's only so much you can do by yourself, doing research and looking through books and trying to apply that to your life. It's always great in the moment. You read it, it resonates. You're like, yes, this is me. But it's very hard to make change without someone to bounce ideas off of and to walk you through things. And again, those exercises that you had me do, they're not things that I would have picked for myself. So they really pushed me to think about things differently. And that was so valuable. It was so incredibly valuable. I would do it again in a heartbeat, right? In fact, I probably wouldn't have waited so long the first time. Knowing what I got out of it, I wish I had done it sooner.
I'm so happy to hear that. And I remember you even said, if you didn't know before the value you've gotten, and if you knew the value you've gotten, what did you tell me about the pricing that
yes, absolutely. Based on the pricing, it's obviously a big investment, right? So I think anybody who's looking at this is going, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? 100%. I would have paid a lot more, knowing the value that I got out of it and how good I feel about the direction I'm going and where I'm going to take my career. I would have paid more upfront by maybe even up to $1,000 or $1,500 more. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for saying all that. I'm so happy that we get a chance to work together. It was amazing experience for me, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And I'm so happy to see how much growth you've achieved through this process and where you're headed. I think it's a very exciting future that lies ahead of you, and you're just a beautiful person that has so much to share with the world. And I can't wait to see how many people you will be able to impact even more, because you're already impacting a lot of people. And I think you're going to be able to do even more of that moving forward. So very excited for you. Thank you so much for being an amazing client to work with.
Oh yes, thank you for everything. It's been a really great experience. Incredible experience.
I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you so much. Would love to hear from you so that people understand kind of where you started. Maybe give a little bit of an overview, what you're currently doing, and maybe what field you're in, and what were your biggest challenges? Why did you decide to hire a coach? If you remember that thought process, what was the situation at the time, or the biggest fears maybe?
Yes, absolutely. So originally, I was looking for a coach because I kept running into the same, I should say, set of roadblocks or challenges in my career. I've been incredibly lucky, been very successful in what I'm doing. I have done software implementation and project management my entire career, so about 20 years, just short of 20 years at this point. And I've been in a leadership role for most of that time. Again, lots of promotions, lots of change there. But what I kept bumping up against was, as you get to a certain level, you get further and further away from the day-to-day work, and you get closer to these visionaries who in my mind, being very operational, just don't get it, right? And I was looking for some help on either how to navigate those challenges, especially in the executive space, or honestly make a decision of, if I want to stay in this business, right? Should I stay in software? Should I keep doing this? Have I learned enough? Have I done what I wanted here? Should I be looking at something totally different? Is it a problem with my skills versus what I perceive as these challenges with people not connecting the dots? So that's kind of what I was looking for when I originally started it. I am pretty talented at execution, but it's the vision where I struggle a little bit. So I think that's what I was looking for ultimately when I decided to look for a coach. I was like, I need help with the vision, and I didn't know how to get there. Yeah. So I thought what I thought would be the challenges in that process ended up not being the case. I thought that it was going to be more about making decisions and not knowing which way to go. That's what I expected the challenge to be. In reality, the challenge was some of the amazing exercises that you had me do through this process. I was really frustrated because I wanted to get to the right answer. Yeah. And that's not the point. The point is to be contemplative and reflective and to really understand what drives you and why you do the things that you do. which was eye-opening for me. I think I learned so much more about myself in this process than about, okay, I want this job, right? I think I came in looking for something prescriptive about, oh, these three things are a good fit for you. Do one of these three
Yeah.
things, which is completely unrealistic. Now, having gone through it, I had totally understand that was unrealistic.
Mm. And what do you remember, maybe what was the biggest shift or the biggest click in you in this process? What now led you where you are right now?
Yeah, I think as I unwound what it is I really love to do and what pieces of my job I like and what keeps me not at a particular company, but keeps me motivated and keeps me driving for progress in any job role. And what we really keyed in on, that it was about people, right? I kind of came to the conclusion that software, take it or leave it, customers, take it or leave it. It's really about getting to work with the people on my team, getting to solve problems, getting to be collaborative, and helping them grow and develop. That's what's really rewarding for me. And I've gotten to do that as an ancillary piece of happening to be a leader in these
Not by
roles.
mistake, not by
But it
accident.
was never the job I was hired for, right? The job I was hired for was to implement software or to manage a customer project or to handle a customer initiative or something like that. So that was very interesting. I knew that I loved working with people. I didn't realize how I could strip away some major components of my job and I'd still be happy what I was doing if I got to keep other certain things.
Yeah, because I think during that process you realized your biggest strengths and your zone of genius is in like helping people grow and developing, like nurturing people, being this extraordinary manager who people like tend to get to, and you're so nurturing, and like you're such a strong mentor and a role model for many people. And I think when you saw yourself that, wow, yeah, that's, and you I think you took it for granted for a long time.
Yeah.
Because for many people it's not natural to be so confident as a manager, as a leader, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was an important realization for me. Here, I thought I was just doing what everybody should do, right? Again, should in air quotes.
Yeah.
And in reality, there are people that spend their entire careers trying to figure out how to master this and don't necessarily come by it naturally. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so happy you realized that, and I'm curious, where do you find yourself right now? How do you look into the future, and do you feel like you've achieved the goals that you set for yourself when you started?
It's really interesting because since we were working together, I've actually been promoted at work. So again, which is, thank you. It's very exciting. But it's also partially because I realized some of these things and I figured out what boundaries I have to draw in, and I figured out where I want to focus, and I can let some things go that I wasn't able to let go before. So that's happening in my current role. But I think more globally, I'm looking at making a change. I want to stay somewhere or do something where I can really make a difference for folks that don't have that kind of support built in from their management resources. So I'm looking at some management consulting opportunities. There's a lot of different versions of that, of course. I think in a perfect world, I will go out on my own, but there are some other opportunities that I'm also still looking into around consulting, doing consulting for companies. I just have to figure out what that looks like and where I start and what that progression looks like. But that's the piece that I think if I left my job tomorrow for whatever reason, right, the company shut its doors, that's the area I would want to pursue, as opposed to going, oh, I just got to go out and get my next software job.
Yeah, because I think you realized for yourself where is your, like, what you could be doing and what kind of impact you could make by being yourself pretty much at whatever organization, even if your own business or you're working for somebody, but now you know how you could do that. And it's just a matter of, I mean, deciding which of the ways to pursue, although I think you kind of globally already know that.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just the change, doesn't happen overnight, and there's got to be a plan and all that. Again, it goes back to the execution, but I feel confident that if I work on that and focus on it, it's something that I can make happen.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing.
If you're waiting and you're considering if this is the right move for you, if going down this path and going through this program is the right choice for you, just do it. It's life-changing. It will make such a difference to how you're able to think about your career and where you're going to go. do not hesitate. This is the right choice.
Thank you so much. I mean, yes, guys, join. This is a great opportunity to understand yourself and your future. So I'm here to support. And thank you so much again for your kind words. And I really appreciate you.